Oh, that ain't that bad.
There?
Yeah.
Like that?
Alrighty guys, welcome back to another gun wall review. Today, we're taking a look at a gun that I borrowed from my buddy. We're looking at the Taurus Judge Public Defender, the small frame version. Now, I'd have to admit, I haven't had any experience with this. I may have shot this gun with him at the range a couple years back. Didn't leave too much of an impression on me. I'm not normally a revolver guy, but to be honest, this gun kind of makes me want to get a revolver. Not a short barrel though. I've never been a fan of short barrel. I never will be. Anyways, so if you don't know anything about the Judge, pretty much it's a 45 caliber, 45 Long Colt revolver that can also use 410 shot shells. You can shoot slugs or buck or birdshot out of it. Although the birdshot and the slugs, I would not bet on their accuracy all that well because of the rifling in the barrel. Probably causes a really fast spread on it. So, as you can see, it's pretty small. I have relatively small hands, so some larger pistols, like you're going to see in our next video when I show you the Magnum Research Desert Eagle, I have a little bit of trouble gripping large pistols, but with revolvers that's not normally a problem because they usually can have a thinner grip because everything's up here. So this gun actually feels pretty comfortable in my hands. I got good grip position on everything. I did take it out, shoot it a little bit. I shot a few of the cast bullets that my buddy reloaded. I believe he reloaded these. I shot some of these, and then I shot a couple of the 2 3/4 buckshot, double aught buck, copper plated. So I'm about to say the 45, not too bad. I can actually one-hand this pistol, and with the 45 and these soft rubber grips, this gun actually kicks less than my Polish P64 Makarov. And if you don't know the size difference, that's the difference. This kicks less than this with this gun. Now, my buddy may have loaded these light. I don't know the grain weights on this. I'll find out, and I'll do a annotation in the video when I find out how much powder's in these and what the weight that bullet is. They don't feel too heavy, but still, you know, kicking less than this either way, that's pretty impressive. And a lot of that is due to the weight of the gun. I don't know the specs right off the hand on this, but I do have them up right here. This gun weighs 28.2 ounces unchambered. That's a pretty hefty gun. I know that's about easily double the weight of my P64, if not triple the weight. My P64 is very, very light. So let's go over the specs on this gun. It can chamber 2.5 inch 410 shot shells, 45 Long Colt, obviously. This one here is stainless steel. I believe they have a polymer frame model of it too, and I think a parkerized steel version. Not entirely sure on that. it has only a 1 in 12 inch twist rate on this, which is kind of crazy because, well, I mean, you have a, what, 2.5 inch barrel? You only have 2.5 inches of barrel here, and, man, that's barely enough to get a bullet twist and all. Hey, yeah. Let me do something back. So that's not, it's enough to get the bullets stabilized. Man, that's just, I would prefer a longer barrel, and of course with a longer barrel, this might actually kick a little bit longer. Now I have to say the 410 shot shells did kick a lot more than these, which makes me believe that he may have loaded these a little light. Like I said, I'll ask him and find out. It does got a fiber-optic front sight, and it does have a pretty nice sight picture. Let's see if y'all can see that in there. But it's a pretty nice sight picture on that. It is actually really accurate. You've seen the video. I was able to pretty much shoot where I was aiming. The overall length is 9.5 inches. Now, I would have to say, the MSRP from Taurus, from their website, is $629 on these. Now, I have seen them online. I'll post a couple links. All the way down to about $400, $390 for this specific stainless steel. I think the polymer one you can get a little cheaper. And of course, the longer the barrel, the more expensive it's going to be. The trigger type on this is smooth. Now, let's get to some of the nit and gritty stuff. It does got a nice long ejection rod on it, which I did not use the whole time I was shooting it. I completely forgot. I would just pull them out. The brass falls out pretty easy. The shot shells, I wish I remembered to do this, because I could have, man, it's like my cats are killing each other back there. But it's good for the shot shells because the shot shells do stick in there a little bit. It does got a nice free. It does lock up nice. This is a double action, although it's a very stiff double action at that. And if you do try to single cock it, the spring on the hammer is very, very, very heavy. So you can cock it to use it as a single action, and it does have a very light trigger when you do, but cocking it back like that is hard. Doing it as a double action, though, it is a much lighter trigger pull on. I guess it has some mechanical advantage with the trigger itself on there. So that's something to keep in mind. It has no traditional safety on it for locking the trigger or anything like that. I think it says it has a, let's see, transfer bar. I'm not gonna lie and say I know much about revolvers or what the transfer bar is, but if I had to guess, it's probably something that just kind of detaches the hammer from hitting the pin, because when it is sitting on the firing pin, yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say I know anything about how that works. So, anyways, in that, it is very light recoil. You can see it was made in Brazil. Got the number on it, which I'm going to cover. And the Judge. It's got the Judge printed in a couple different spots. Taurus Public Defender. 45 Long Colt. Pretty pleasant to shoot. I was able to single-hand it, which I actually wasn't thinking I was going to do. Now, to give you a little bit of context on how long the cylinder is, the Long Colt is about there in that cylinder, and that 410 sits all the way right there. So these are 2.5s, I think. Is that 2.5? Yeah, I think that's 2.5. Anyways, would I buy this gun if there was a long barrel version of it, which there is? You can get this barrel in pretty much any length imaginable. I think the Raging Bull is a 6-inch barrel and stuff like that. Personally, just being able to shoot 410 shot shells, that doesn't really do it for me that much. In fact, the only reason this is so long is for those 410 shot shells as far as cylinder goes. I believe this can shoot 45 Long Colt also, besides just 45 Colt. I don't know. It just says 45 Colt, so I don't know if that includes the long Colt or just the short Colt. I'm sure you could probably shoot any of the 45 through it, but I wouldn't recommend doing it without finding out. Like I said, I'm not a big revolver guy. I don't say to know a lot about them. I know more about a lot of auto-loading pistols. Anyways, it is still a good gun for the price. It is very accurate, despite having such a short barrel and such little amount of rifling in it. Either way, you have that pointed back at you. That's an intimidator right there. Would this one here be good for concealed carry? It's a little long, but snub noses are popular concealed carry guns. Either way, you got a bad guy and they got that pointed at them. They're probably gonna think twice. So it's all up to you. Personally, I like it. I wouldn't buy one just because I'm cheap and I'm not a revolver guy, but I am gonna be looking for a revolver now. And I am going to be finding something in 45 Colt because I like this cartridge. There are some out there that shoot both 45 Colt and 45 ACP. So I might try to look for something like that because I do like 45 ACP even though it's kind of pricey. And I do want something that shoots 45 Colt, but I want something that's kind of an old cowboy gun. So keep that in mind in the future. I'll probably be looking into that. There's a couple other things I want to get before then. But I think that's all we're going to do for this one today. I'll post those links in the description where you can find these. And stay tuned for our next episode where we get to look at the Desert Eagle. And that is a big bore pistol. And if you don't know the difference between the Desert Eagle, there's your 45 Long Colt. There's 50 AE, and that is a big chunk of lead going down range. Not cheap, but big. So y'all stay tuned for that, and I'll have that posted probably tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Be sure to come over here and subscribe. And of course you have to hit the little bell, otherwise we won't show up in your notifications each time we post a new video. And check us out on Facebook and give us a like. We post all of our content there as well, as long as some pictures that we take. Speaking of Instagram, you can check us out on Instagram too. We post all of our pictures, some short clips that don't end up on YouTube, along with a little bit of funny stuff, some game recipes, and we're also on Twitter. You can check us out on there, some of our posts. We keep everyone kind of in the queue along what we're on to and what we're up to and what we're doing, along with some other posts about some other things that we like. So be sure to check us out on Patreon. We could always use the support. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up, but that stuff kind of isn't cheap, so every little bit of support helps and will help us get out some good content for everyone to see.